Hail to the Redskins. What's going on, Internet? This is JD coming at you with another video from Redskins Rant. This video is kind of like an announcement video. I have decided I'm going to do a game film every week during the season. Every game film. I'm about to record one right now, actually, to be completely honest with you. But I wanted to make this short video and kind of post it as kind of like a precursor for what's coming. Yeah, I'm going to do a game film breakdown every week. Try to do it every Wednesday. Gives me an opportunity to... I'll probably do a reaction video right after, and then I'll do a game film breakdown. The game film breakdown will be a lot more in-depth. Sorry, I'm logging into my computer here. It'll be a lot more in-depth, but for the most part, game film breakdown is pretty straightforward. I go over what I see. I go over what you're supposed to look for as a football guy. Some people, the problem with arguing with a bunch of fans that I did last year, and it's a good segue into my main point, is they just watch the game one time and they think they remember everything. And I recorded the games and I have NFL Sunday tickets so I can watch from every angle, and I watched them 5 or 6 times, about 2 or 3 times usually before I film, unless I'm like in the heat of the moment, just I gotta post about it. All right. So here's why I'm posting this video, is because I had a lot of people throughout the course of the season last year would like tell me I'm stupid, I don't know football, whatever the case may be, which, you know, I don't really care. I mean, I know I'm right and they're wrong. And what's really funny is all those people were commenting and talking smack, but as soon as I put up a game film that has documented video evidence of everything I'm saying, there's crickets. There's crickets everywhere. No one's saying anything. No one's got something to say. No one's even rebuttaling what I'm saying. Okay? And I think it's very cowardly of people who had an opposing opinion whenever I actually have video proof that they can't come forward and say anything about it now. I'm just saying that. I think it's very cowardly to do that. If you agree with me, that's fine. If you don't agree with me, again, that's fine. I post the video for a reason, because 1, it's my opinion, and it's my channel. I do what I want. But 2, it's to hear other people's opinions. Maybe I don't see the game film the same way. But now that people can actually watch the video and see the game film properly, they really have nothing to say, because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm right, but I was pretty accurate in what I said, in my assertions on what I was seeing. I'm just going to say straight up, I am so excited about this season, okay? I know you shouldn't take a lot of what is said online to heart, but we have a lot of things going on online that are just going to be, you know, just fantastic if they all go through, okay? Like, for example, I watched a handful of, you know, simulation videos, like the season being simulated on Madden. I know it's just Madden and doesn't really count for anything, but, I mean, to me it counts. I mean, it's not like it's like one of them is like a win and the rest of them are like, oh, we're like 5-10 or something, or 5-11. But the big one to me is the simple fact that when you look at it, it looks like we have, like, we're gonna have a legit, like, good season. And I mean, we actually had a pretty solid team last year. We had so many injuries. We were like, a couple years ago, the Ravens had like 15 injuries. We were like, I think we outdid them this year. 15 like solid injuries. Offensive line devastated, defensive line devastated, and then people try to use the defensive line as a reason why we lost. I'm not getting into that. But for the most part, it was just insane how much like vitriol came to the rest of the team when people say the best player on the team was Kirk, is left, and you still have to do your job as a quarterback. And the reason why I'm posting these videos is I'm not going to disagree that when you lose crucial parts of a team, the team is not going to be as good. I agree with that. But you also have to have something to base it on. For example, our Eagles game, we had our full squad. Starting defense, starting offensive line, starting running back, starting everything. No injuries in that game. And our defense did very well in that game. Defense did very well in the LA Rams game. The defense did very well in the Raiders game. Okay? And it did semi-decent considering it got a lot of injuries in the Chiefs and the 49ers game. And then after the 49ers game, we had so many injuries we just couldn't recover. Okay? So there is like a baseline. There is something you can gauge like before the injuries and after. Okay? Let's flip the script and look at the offense. The offense, what did they do the Eagles game? Pretty much nothing. Did not do very well at all. Okay? They didn't do very well whatsoever. Did not have a successful outing against the Eagles. They didn't do extremely. They didn't do well. They did okay enough for us to win, but they didn't do well against the Rams. Against the Raiders, I mean, they did enough to win, but they weren't like crushing teams. They weren't like putting foots on teams' throats and like killing them. Our defense put us in a lot of positions in that game to be successful in all three of those games. I mean, when you look at the Chiefs game, the only reason we were in the game is the defense kept holding the field goals. And our offense, I think, finally got 20 points near the end of the game. Okay? So, it's not about, and I know it sounds like, it's going to sound weird, it's not about, yes, Kirk did good, and then he did bad. Well, first off, it doesn't matter who's in front of him. Kirk is going to do bad and then good. And that's part of the problem with Kirk Cousins, is he is wildly inconsistent. He'll have one game where he'll have like 300 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and then he'll have one game where we'll have 150 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Okay? It's wildly inconsistent. And let's say he had 4 touchdown passes and 300 yards, like say I was like an average, or like 3 touchdowns with like 1 interception and 300 yards, like the first 5 games of the season before he had any offensive line injuries, then your point is valid when it comes to analyzing him without an offensive line that was good. Problem is, he wasn't good when he had an offensive line that was good and healthy. He did the same amount of production, actually did, if not same amount, if not worse, with a lesser offensive line than he had to begin with. And we have one of the best offensive lines. Statistically, we have one of the best offensive lines this year. It's incredible like how bad the offensive line was graded, but we actually are having a top 10 offensive line statistically. It's great. I'm not making this up. It's graded online that we have a top 10 offensive line. We had a good one last year prior to a bunch of injuries. Like pass protection was great early in the season. Run was actually not horrible, but it wasn't bad either. So that's what people need to understand. You have to gauge it off something. If you're gonna make a point, you have to make a point with validity. You can't just like, oh, Kirk Cousins is great and he's just great because his offensive line sucks. Okay, well, how was he when his offensive line was healthy? When his offensive line was healthy, first game of the season, he goes for 3 turnovers, has 1 touchdown pass, which technically wasn't a touchdown pass if you ask me. He threw the ball 1 yard, and Chris Thompson ran 30 yards and ran through 5 tackles to get a touchdown. That's not Kirk being great. That's him getting the ball to a guy and that guy being great. But he gets credited with the touchdowns, so people like to jerk off to that shit. Okay? So there's a lot of things that are the reason why Kirk didn't do. Obviously, if everything around you is great and Kirk sucks, then yeah, you can gauge that. But Kirk wasn't great with everything around him healthy in 100% of everything. He had Thompson, he had Rob Kelly, he had all this stuff early in the season, and he wasn't great before he had all those injuries. Okay? He's wildly inconsistent no matter what's around him. It doesn't really matter if he has elite talent. It doesn't even matter if he has 1,000-yard receivers around him. Okay? If you have a 1,000-yard receiver, that means those receivers caught the ball. Okay? A lot of people always say, like, oh, he lost 2,000-yard receivers. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you got to catch they catch the ball. Your biggest complaint is that he has no weapons around him, but you want to pay a quarterback who's mediocre and wildly inconsistent a lot of money? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm not trying to get too much into that, but I'm basically just pointing out like a little bit of hypocrisy on account of people, where the whole point of the videos I initially made when I started this channel was, first I was venting. I'm not gonna lie, I was venting, but I vented my frustrations with a quarterback. For example, let's carry it over the year before, and I have another channel, my name, James Plank, and I have a playlist. If you ever want to watch these, I highly recommend those. But the channel was my personal channel. I just posted gaming, thoughts on football, thoughts on basketball, whatever case may be. And the first video I posted about the Redskins, like severely posted about the Redskins, was when he did nothing against the New York Giants, like not last year, but the year before, in the final game of the season, where we want to have a franchise quarterback, want to pay him like a franchise quarterback, and he can't even get 13 points on the board against the Giants, who were sitting starters. They weren't playing starters. Okay? And that guy we want to give a lot of money to and put the future in. And so I'm just very happy he's gone. Okay? But that is what this video is about. I just want to, I'm kind of calling out people who called me out and called me an idiot, fat fuck, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm not really really fat. I'm like, I'm 290 and I'm lean. If you saw me in person, you'd be like, that guy's like 230. No, I'm not a fat fuck. I think that's funny. I'm 290 lean. I'm 290, but you know I weigh a lot. But I play college football, for God's sakes. You know, I have big arms, a big chest, and I have stocky legs. I squat 700 pounds. So I mean, a big guy. But I'm not a fat fuck. But anyway, those are really funny ones. Those are the ones when someone like would insult me rather than just actually pick apart my argument. I kind of want to do a video where there's other Redskin videos out there, and I want to go through and pick apart what they're doing, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, we're all Redskin fans at heart. Some of it just misled. That's the best way to put it. Misled. And I get the point that people are like, oh, we want to have one of our own. We want to have one of our own. Like, yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't mind one of our own or our own either. But the problem with having, quote, one of our own is the guy has to want to be here first. Okay? He also has to be consistent. I would rather have Alex Smith every day of the week and twice on Sunday and make him our own. Have him come here and be good and consistent. I mean, if we played all of our games over last year with Alex Smith rather than Kirk Cousins, we'd have won probably 5 more games. And a reason why, and I know there's like nothing to statistically back that up. Maybe 4 more games. Maybe 4. Okay? There's nothing to statistically back that up other than the fact that he turns the ball over less. Eagles game alone, we don't turn the ball over in that game, we probably win. The first game of the season, we win because we don't turn the ball over. Okay? So there's a lot of those things that, there's a lot of games we played where, we weren't conservative enough. We weren't taking that short passing route early. We took the long one. If you watch the videos, you'll know. He takes a long one on like 2nd and 10, overthrows it, and then throws like a 3-yard slant route and hope the guy gets a first down or else we got a punt. Okay, that's what we're going to improve on this year, and that's what I personally cannot wait for. We're going to have that huge, drastic improvement of like trying to actually move the ball and sustain drives that we just didn't have. We just haven't had that like the last, I don't want to get too much into how many years, but I mean, a couple years ago, Kirk had a great season. He had like 4,000 yards, and we made the playoffs. 4,200 yards or something like that, and we made the playoffs. So he's had, don't get me wrong, he's had good seasons. He's had his times when he's looked like an elite quarterback moments, but he doesn't string them together enough that you got to convince yourself of that. I don't think the Vikings are going to do well this year. And here's why I don't, is because Kirk Cousins is on their team. And here's why. Kirk Cousins last year was very conservative, and that was when he was like, he had to play like every mistake he made was going to cost him $1 million or something on the next contract that he's negotiating for. So he played very conservative, did a lot of checkdowns, keep his stats up, so on and so forth. How's he going to play now that he's guaranteed $90 million? I wonder. I wonder that. I wonder, does anyone, like, if anyone negates that, that's up to you. They don't believe me, that's fine. But how do you think Kirk Cousins is going to play now that he's, like, got his guaranteed money, he's got, a little bit of security, and even if he plays bad, you can't, like, kick him out. You can't, like, cut him, because if you cut him, he gets $90 million over the next 3 seasons. So how do you think he's really going to play? Just a thought. But, that's my video. If you have any comments or questions, I'm more than happy to answer anyone's questions. I'll actually answer them with a video if you want. As long as the question's not like something ridiculously crazy. I got someone asked me like why I don't like Marshawn Lynch, and I answered it. Nothing, not like I think he does great work charity-wise. I just think he's a douchebag. Personal opinion. Not against the guy. I just don't think. I think he's a dickhead. I think he's arrogant. I think he's entitled. Because he's a professional athlete, and he also thinks that he's above the rules, and I think that's a bad image to portray, especially when you're black and young black men look up to you. Young black men or young black kids look up to someone who's breaking the rules because they can afford to break the rules. Okay, like if I have $1 million and I speed and it costs me $1,000 every time I speed, I can speed a lot before I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay. But if you have $1,000 and you speed one time and it costs you all $1,000, or you have less than $1,000 and you speed one time, it's not the same effect on you it's going to have on me, and vice versa. Does that make sense? So, again, no, I'm not getting too much into that. But all I'm trying to say with this video is I want I want people to actually challenge me a little bit. I feel like these videos are just people watching like, okay, good point. Comment that. Comment like what point you may disagree with about. Like maybe use some statistics against me. I don't care. I want to get a little bit more of a dialogue going with the Redskin fans. Alright, that's basically what this video is about. So, this is JD, this is my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and you'll get every video I post. I try to post at least 2 times a week. During the season, it ramps up. It ramps up. I post usually every Sunday or Monday evening. Depends on when the game is. If it's like a 4 o'clock game, I'll be able to watch every second of that. So I'll probably post right after the 4 o'clock game. Now I post every Wednesday. I'm going to try to post every Wednesday or Thursday based on whenever I watch the game film, and I can actually break it down, or it gets released online too. Alright? That's my video. Please like, share, subscribe. This is JD. Follow me on Twitter, Redskins Ranter. See ya.